What's up, my friends? Welcome to the Quiet Storm. Today we're going to talk about organic or shredded coconut or coconut oil. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I have a couple of friends that have family members that have dementia and Alzheimer's, and they're really going through a tough battle. Really bad, really bad. And their family members are disappearing before their eyes. So I'm making this video for them so they can see it, because a lot of people don't like to read stuff on the internet. And even though I'm not a doctor, I've always been into nutrition and working out all my life. So all these hundreds of hours that I spent reading stuff, I'm passing it on to you guys. And you can find all this and Google it up on the internet. Just don't take my word for it. But anyway, uh, what happens is, uh, in layman's term, without getting too medical, our body uses sugar in the form of glucose. So we need that glucose, that sugar, for running, for energy, for working, and also our brain uses a lot of glucose, a lot of this sugar, for thinking. And there's new evidence now that if you don't get that sugar in your brain, you can kill your brain cells and have a whole bunch of neurological diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, brain fog, which I've had, and it's horrible. And they're saying now that this can happen because you become pre-diabetic or you're diabetic, and then you're not getting the sugar into your brain. And when you don't get the sugar to your brain cells die. It's horrible. And by the time they figure out what you have, you're already a goner. And you don't want to go that route. So uh, what happens is there's a way to go around that. First of all, you got to buy one of these, even if you're not diabetic, and from time to time a glucose meter, and check your sugar to make sure you're all right. And if your sugar's out of whack, you got to change your diet. And if you can't change your diet, then you might have diabetes 3 of the brain, which is what they're calling it now, diabetes 3 of the brain, where now the excessive sugar in your body starts to create havoc in your brain. And the reason it happens is a quick course on diabetes. When you have excessive sugar in your body, your hormone insulin, which is produced by your pancreas, the insulin is a hormone. It controls your sugar. So it stores it in your muscles for glycogen, for more energy later on, or stores it as, like people say, stores it as fat, which is not really true, but it's another video we could do about that. But anyway, when that happens, you when you start producing insulin because you're becoming diabetic, now you don't have your sugars is floating all around your body, and now your brain is not getting that sugar. And on top of that, that sugar floating around your body also creates more damage to your cells, a substance called AGEs, which destroys neurons and creates havoc on your body. It's like a free radical. So even having the sugar floating around is bad for your body. And also not having the sugar in your brain is bad. It creates massive brain cell death. So the best way to control this is to probably change your diet and hope that your cells can start producing insulin again. But once you have diabetic, it's kind of hard. People don't want to change your diet. And even if you're a diabetic and you inject insulin, yeah, that kind of helps push the sugar back into your brain and into your body. But what happens with insulin is like when you're taking steroids. People who take a lot of steroids and never stop, their body becomes sensitive, desensitized to it, and it doesn't do anything anymore. It's like when you take a lot of antibiotics, gets to a point where it doesn't work. So you got to stop doing that so your body becomes sensitive to that again. And that's what happens with insulin. If you inject a lot of insulin because you're eating bad, your body becomes desensitized. You know, you decrease your insulin sensitivity in parts of your brain also. Even now that you're injecting insulin, they hope the sugar go to your brain. Your brain cells don't acknowledge it. So you're already, you have decreased insulin sensitivity. So that's even bad. So the insulin is not even working. And in fact, people who inject less insulin and eat better, they live longer than the people who inject a lot of insulin and are diabetic. So that's just something for you guys to know. But anyway, so if you're a diabetic and you're starting to have all these dementia symptoms and Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and brain fog, what you could do is there's another energy source that our body uses, and it comes from coconuts. Coconuts have something called medium chain triglycerides, and what happens is, let's say you're on an island and you're only eating fat and protein and there's no sugar, your body starts to produce these substances called ketones, ketone bodies. And that's what people do when they go on the Atkins diets and the South Beach diet, that they eat very little sugar. Your body breaks down and starts creating ketones, which is really not healthy, but you lose weight like that. But anyway, shredded coconut oil, when you eat it without doing that diet, it becomes ketones right away. It goes through your liver and becomes ketones, and those ketones go directly to your body and your brain and give you brain energy immediately. So in fact, there was a lady who was a doctor in Florida, and her husband became so bad with Alzheimer's he couldn't even know his name. He couldn't start the computer. He couldn't even start his car. And she brought the guy back by giving him coconut oil a couple of tablespoons a day. Now it doesn't work for everybody, but most of the people it does work. And doing studies not as on that, they even done studies on animal. They've given animals Alzheimer's. You know, genetically they force Alzheimer's on a rat, and then they give them the coconut, and they come back. So they're making drugs now. Probably they're gonna have this type of oil inside, but by the time they make them, if you have it, you're messed up. So if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic and you're having dementia and mental fog and things are happening bad in your brain, you can start taking a couple of tablespoons of shredded coconut or coconut oil every day. I think I read an article where if you have any neurological diseases, you can take like 8 to 10 tablespoons spread out during the day of the coconut oil or the shredded coconut. And if you don't have any neurological problems, they say you could take 2 to 4 tablespoons a day of the coconut as a maintenance. And also coconut does a whole bunch of other things that are good for your body, antibacterial, anti-cancers, a whole bunch of, it's the topic of another video. But anyway, another thing that can probably save your brain if you know anybody or you're going through stuff later, and help to everybody.